Chris the Carpenter here, rocketbrandstudios.com, and I have been asked to do an Inkscape tutorial and how it relates to CNC and laser cutters. So let's just jump right into it. I can't stand it when people take 20 minutes just to go over every button. I'm just going to fly through this and just really hit the high points here. I've gone File, Document Properties, and I'm changing my measurements, inch, millimeter, whatever you care to work in. And I will change this to the size of my sheet of materials. That'll go in the laser cutter. Done. So now we have our workspace, and our guides at the top here are in inches, or whatever you chose. Keystrokes. Put your left hand over Shift and Control, because you're going to use those all the time. Scroll wheel up and down. Scroll wheel with Control is zoom in, zoom out. Scroll wheel with Shift is left and right, and you're going to be using Control to keep things straight and aligned, and Shift to select different things. You're going to use it for all kinds of stuff. So let's start with a basic box here, and we're going to talk about line width. And actually, let's do two boxes. Yeah. All right. Let's do line width here. If I zoom in really close, you can see that line, right? But if I zoom out, you can see it becomes very, very faint. The trick is, when you're doing this, is to lean your monitor back at an angle, and you can actually see the lines. I'll show you exactly what that line is. I'll go here to Fill and Stroke, and you'll notice this is a 1,000th of an inch line, 0.001, and that is what you want to work in. Whenever you're designing anything, you know the CNC software, the laser cutter software, et cetera, is going to see this hairline, this phi line of 0.001 inches, or I don't know, 0.1 metric. It's really small, right? And you have to work with this line for the whole shebang. You can't work with thicker lines so you can see them and then convert at the end, because your dimensions are going to change. Now, only for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to make bigger lines, just so you can see them on the screen grab. But again, I cannot stress enough, you have to work with 1,000th of an inch lines when you're drawing, so your dimensions stay straight. And when you export it, the software, the cutting software, knows literally what side of the line or the middle of the line you're talking about. When it's 1,000th, there's no confusion. So here is our basic box. Now here's our basic grabby cursor. If we do a double click on this, we get a little radius tool, right? And we can also change our radius up here, 0.25. We can do it, manually, specifically. Now, let's go into Align and Distribute, because this is probably the thing you are going to be doing the most of. Go up here to Object, down here, Align and Distribute. We get another guy over here. Now let's say this is a little piece of plexiglass, and we're gonna mount something to it. Actually, how big is this thing? First of all, let's make this 4 by 3 inches. So we now just made this 4 by 3 inches tall. And let's say we've got a little doodad we're gonna mount to it, like a circuit board or an Arduino board, or whatever. It has 4 holes in the corners, and those happen to be 125 inches. They're 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And we also know that they are 2 inches apart this way and 3 inches apart this way. The reason we know that is because we measured it with our little $20 calipers, And so here, we're just going to make an arbitrary box, and we are going to make this box 2 inches tall. Exactly 2 inches tall. And this is going to be our measuring stick. I'm holding Control and using the scroll wheel to zoom way in. And now I can put this circle right there. Okay, I can hit Control D for duplicate, and I can drag this guy straight down. I can use Control so it goes straight down. And now they are exactly 2 inches apart, because we made a box exactly 2 inches apart. Let's say you didn't hit Control and your hand slipped, so this guy actually ended up way over here. It's right on the line where it's supposed to be, but you can see it's not straight with its brother here. We can grab both of those, and we can go over here to Align, Distribute, and boom, make them straight. Nice. Now that they're straight and they're exactly 2 inches apart, we'll hit Control G for Group, and we'll forget about those guys for a second. Next one, we know that our screw holes happen to be 3 inches apart. So we'll make another square, 3 inches. Grab our circles. I'm going to zoom in with the control. And we're going to drag this guy right over to the box. Duplicate it, Control D. Drag this guy over. I could have held Control there and kept it straight. Doesn't matter. And now we know they're exactly 3 inches apart. We can grab that guy, grab them both, align them straight up and down. Or actually, let me undo that. Let me get rid of this measurement box here. Okay, we'll grab those 2 sets and watch the tops of them. Boonk. Now they're straight. We'll hit Control G for group, so now they're all one thing. Hit the big box with holding Shift down, so they're both selected. Center them that way, center them that way, and now what you have these 2 inches apart, 3 inches apart perfectly. You have them straight to each other, up and down and sideways, and perfectly centered within this box. We can grab our pen and double check our work. We'll click right here on the edge of that guy. And I'm holding Control so the pen goes straight. Go there. And now look at the bottom of the screen. It says in dark letters, line segment distance 3.0. So we know we did it just right. I'm going to hit Escape to get rid of the line, and we're good. Let's do another one here. Get rid of those guys. Let's do pegboard or something, you know. I'm going to hit Control and make this circle so it stays a circle. I don't care about the size. And then I'm going to hit Control D for duplicate. I'm going to yank this guy over here. I don't know, sort of centered, whatever. Control D, Control D. I'm holding Control down because it's force of habit. But Control D, duplicate. But I'll move that one funny. Control duplicate. Oops, grab just the edge. There we go. And yeah, that's enough. Now we can grab all those guys, straighten them out horizontally. Boom. Straighten them out, even space between them. Boom. And then we can group them, duplicate the whole darn thing, duplicate the whole darn thing, duplicate, I'm holding Control so they stay straight. Oh, that one was weird, that one went weird, that one went weird. Oops, I didn't hold Control, no worries. Grab the whole darn thing, holding Shift, minus the outside, we just want our circles here. Well, let's straighten them up that way, and then let's straighten them up that way, and then let's group the whole darn thing together. Stick it back in the box. Centered up and down. Centered vertically, horizontally. Done. So that is your crash course in Align and Distribute. You use that all the time. Now, moving on. Let's talk about paths and modes. Paths and nodes, rather. I just drew a square, and as a basic square, I can do the corner thing and whatever, okay, and fudge it around. If I were to convert this to a path, object to path, which you will have to do with everything before the drawing's over. But there's reasons to do it and reasons not to do it. But in this case, we know this radius here is the one we like. But now that we've converted to path, we have these nodes. I've gone from regular clicky to pointy clicky. And we can grab nodes, right? And you can see they're selected. And we do all kinds of stuff with them. We can grab them, hit Control, and move them over and stretch things. All right, we can grab them and not hit Control and stretch them any way we want. We can grab line segments and move them. We can grab line segments and move them. We can grab these little twisties and do it sort of scientifically, you know, with different radiuses and, you know, and whatnots. But the other cool thing, actually, we can even, here, look, we can add nodes, you know, and then stretch something apart maybe. But let's look at this. Let's take this guy apart. We're going to grab these 2 nodes, and I'm going to hit Control B, Control Shift K. And what we did, if I did that right, which I did not do that right because another node was selected, I think. Let me try it again. Just those guys. Shift B. Sorry, Shift B, Shift Control K. That was my mistake. And now you can see that these are different little guys here. See that? He's his own little guy. And we can actually make him go away. We select this guy with the pointy cursor here, and you see we got some nodes just sitting there. We can grab them, hit Control, move them. We can angle them. We can do whatever we want. If we switch to the pen here, we can grab one of these white boxes and continue from that node. Double click to stop it. Click that guy. I'm holding control so it goes straight. Double click. And now this is a continuation of this. And had I run these two together, they would have connected themselves. But I didn't for a reason. I'm going to show you another one. I'm going to hit control and draw a circle. Doesn't matter the size. I'm going to convert it to a path. I'm going to grab it with the pointy guy. You can see it's got 4 nodes on it. Grab all 4 of those nodes. Shift B, Shift Control K. And now we got slices of pie. And better yet, regular pointer thingy to move it. Better yet, we know it's a perfect quarter round. So, you know, let's do this one the wrong way. Here's the wrong way. Add a node there. Add a node there. Select that node. Make it go away. And now try to make this into something sort of quarter round, pretty, but you never get it right. Nah, let's do it the right way. We just took a perfect quarter circle from a circle. I can grab this, I can hold control and move it sideways till it hits that line. I'm going to scroll in. I'm going to hold control so it doesn't slip off the other line. Align it with that line. Zoom out a little bit. Back to our node pointer guy. Grab that guy, hold control. Goes there. That guy, hold control. Goes there. Gonna hold control and zoom way in. Continue holding control. Just till it touches. Your CNC or laser software might have tolerances, and you might be able to adjust them on how close these ends can be until it recognizes it as one thing. Okay? So there you go. We've added a little corner. We've connected our nodes, and the last thing we're going to do is grab this whole thing and combine it. So now it's one big shebang. So that's a quickie on breaking nodes apart. Shift B, Shift Control K to break things apart in that order. Boom. Last but not least, we're going to hit this aligning and aligning stuff one more time, and we're going to show you how to build a box. This is the tabs and sockets method, but it's also the mortise and tenon, I would call it as a carpenter. So we're going to start with a box with sharp corners. And again, this is going to get a little ugly because of the line thickness. When you're doing this at that 0.001 line thickness, it's going to be perfect. And it's going to make so much more sense and it'll look so much better. But you cannot do this thick and then convert it to 0 at the end because your dimensions are going to be funny. Did I duplicate this? No, okay. Control D for duplicate. I'm going to hold control and pull this straight down, okay? And then I'm going to pull it straight down again. This bottom one, I'm going to set its height at 0.12. Now that happens, I'm holding control, I'm dragging this up. That happens to be exactly the thickness, happens to be exactly the thickness, how many times did I duplicate this? Of my material. My plexiglass is about, oh, for crying out loud. Really, buddy? How many times did I duplicate this? What did I do here? Oh, for crying out loud. Inkscape is doing something funny. Okay, so you're cool. Duplicate you, buddy. Now are we cool? Jeez Louise. Okay, so let's shorten this guy up so they look a little different. Control. I'm holding control on all these moves, so I want these to stay straight on top of each other. This is our lid. This is our side. And this is going to have like a little castle top, and this is going to have little square holes to fit into each other. And this is our template. So let's go down to this guy. Let's duplicate this, grab just this bar, hand off of control. Now hand back on control, move him a little bit. Control D, back on control, move him there. Another one, Control D, move him about there. We're also going to hit Control D, and we're going to put one way out here. Let's zoom way in. I'm going to set him right to the edge. Duplicate him again, Control D, holding control, zap him over there. Bump him right to the edge. Now these guys are going to be our artificial end stops. We're going to click just these 5 guys, and now we're going to line them this way. Watch. Bonk. I'm going to grab just the box. I'm going to pull it down here, holding control so it stays straight. But now you can see these spaces. Get rid of these end stops. These outside spaces are now the same as the inside spaces, so everything's symmetrical to everything. Oops, sorry. We can get those straight again. Now, the next thing we're going to need is the hole in the key slot. And I have this file I drew for myself. I call it all parts. And it's just parts that I have drawn up that I can come here, I can just copy and paste them. And I'll show you what this is right here. Let me get a little sip of water. This is the third time I recorded this. Forgot to highlight the cursor, then I forgot to turn audio on. All right, this guy right here. This is the cutout for the screw that's going to fasten these panels. And this will make more sense in a second. This here, let me grab a pen so I can see. This here, that is the width of your screw, the diameter of the screw. From here to here, that is the length of your screw plus a little bit minus the thickness of your plastic or your material. So in this case, it would be the length of the screw minus 0.12 for the thickness of the plastic plus 10 thousandths, 50 thousandths longer for the tip of the screw. Now, this distance here, this is the thickness of the nut, whatever you're using. This is the width of the nut from flat to flat, not point to point, but from flat to flat, plus just a little bit. This circle here is the diameter, matches the width of this, and is the diameter of your screw. So let's grab the circle. We will duplicate it, so we always have a copy. Drop one there, duplicate, drop one there. Now we'll grab this whole darn thing. We'll align the circle so everything is centered top to bottom. Now we can grab two small squares and a dot, and we can center the dot in between them. That didn't need much movement. Grab two and the one in between them. Center that one. Boom. Everything's centered on everything. Everything's straight. Everything's aligned. Done. Grab this guy immediately. Duplicate. Control D. Control G for group. Grab that guy and pull him down. That's your safety in case you screw something up. This has all remained lined up top to bottom. So I know that this whole assembly is centered on both of these boxes, right? So I can make this go away. I can grab these three guys. I'm going to hit Control so they stay straight. I'm going to move them up here. Hold Control, zoom in. Pull this just down below the line for the side here. Again, Control D, duplicate. Drag that guy up here about, you know, it depends on what you're doing. If it's an important measurement, it's an important measurement, you know, but for me, I go about the thickness of the material away from the edge. Control D, move it up again, just about the thickness of the material. I'm going to hit Shift, select all these together, Control G, they're a group. I'm going to hit Shift, click, so both these guys are selected, and I am going to align them top to bottom. Let me try that again. I'm going to hit Control so this slides, so it stays centered left to right. Just be sure, now I'm going to center it top to bottom. Here's the magic. We're going to grab these three guys. We're going to grab that guy. We're going to hit Union, and boom, there's your tabs. Oh, but wait, there's more. We're going to get our little cutout. And we could do a line and distribute on this too, but this is actually a lot faster. And it doesn't really have to be perfect because these screw holes should have a little bit of wiggle room in them. Let me get that. So, centered on the hole. Dig it. Shift. Grab both of these guys. Make sure they are in line. Now we can hit Control and pull them straight down so they don't slip left to right. Unclick. Circles can go away. Circles can go away. Just to be insurance policy, we'll group that whole thing together. And now you will notice that these three tabs will fit these three sockets. Those two T-tracks will fit these two screw holes. The screw will go through. The nut will sit there. They'll tighten together. And even though these are both drawn to identical measurements, the small amount of what they call kerf, the material that's lost during the laser cut, will make these fit perfectly well. Now we can continue this. We can continue by actually even drawing a square between these guys and aligning it between here and here. And now we know this is going to be if this is the top of our box and we're looking down on it, we know that this is the width between these two sides. So we know it's going to fit between there and there. And we also know it's going to be as tall as this. So let's take this guy flip it sideways. You know, when in doubt, don't measure. Just line stuff up, right? Let's put it like about there, lined up with the top. Drag this guy down, which you can see, this is the part I was telling you about where it's getting ugly with the line spacing. If you do this all with 1/1000th of an inch line, this will all stay pretty. But nevertheless, now we have a side which is exactly that fit between those sides. And if you go this way, this is exactly the height of this, right? And so we know fit. Now here's another one too. Let's go duplicate. Let's make the width of this 0.12. And now we can do the exact same procedure we did, you know, duplicate, make a smaller square, you know, zhink it up, duplicate, make a smaller square, make your tabs, add the circles, whatever, you know, grab those, move those over. You can even take this, duplicate it, and move it down, and move that down, you know. What am I doing here? Let's see, duplicate. Come on, click. I want the other one. There we go. Oops, no, that's not. This is what I wanted. Okay, so, I keep holding control. You will find yourself mistakenly holding control a lot, like I just did there. Line those straight up and down. Boom. Now check this out. Damn it. This, wherever it's going to be here, we pulled straight down, so we know it's going to line up top to bottom. We're going to duplicate this. We drag it over. We're going to duplicate all of this and drag it over. We're going to group it so it can all flip together. Going to hit this guy. We're going to center it. We're going to drag it up there. Boom. This, you know, once again, this whole assembly should have stayed centered here, and I let it slip. But you're seeing how all this alignment and, you know, alignment and distribution works, and how you can, if you keep things straight, like a drafter's drawing, you know, top, side, bottom, whatever, you can keep things straight as they go, holding that control or aligning things off of things. And there you go. That's how you do tabs and sockets. So let's do one more just for fun here. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do something here which I told you was the cardinal no-no, and it still is. But my CAM software is going to like it a lot better. I'm going to drag this guy down to 0, 0, which happens to be this corner on my machine and most machines. Grab this guy, stick it to wherever your material usage is best, you know, however it's going to cut. Grab everything. Now don't forget object to path on everything, because if you drew curves, if you drew this guy and tried to send it to your CAM software, it's going to be a straight line with 45-degree corners, and it's going to draw a straight line from that node to that node. So you got to do that object to path thing. Finally, save as drawing. How many up to? 4 now. And we want to save it as this guy. Desktop cutting plotter, AutoCAD, DXF, R14. This one. That's the one you want. Save. Doesn't matter what you drew it in. You can zap it out as millimeters or inches. My machine happens to be in inches, and there you go. LW polyline type of line output. You want that one. Latin 1. Having a clue. Out it goes. Whew. Hope I put that on the desktop. Here's the CAM software. Here's the remnants of the last video I made that didn't record the audio. Desktop. And you are in the D's. Drawing 4. Boom. No millimeters. I want inches. Boom. And we're here. Here is the final CAM software. And if this were going to a, first of all, controlled join, don't forget that. All those lines that I said get really close, they have to be at least a 100th of an inch close before this software will recognize them as connected. All right? Now, if I was going to run this on a CNC, I would not do layers in Inkscape. Don't do layers or color codes or whatever unless your CAM software or you know, whatever software you're doing to lay out the cut requires you to. This is Cam Bam. I love it. It's like $100. It's worth every penny. I paid for it. It's legal, and I would pay double for it because it's so good. Here, we can grab individual entities, and we can say pocket that, which means I want you to grinder recess in this, and we have all of our stats down here. What bit to use, cut on the inside of the line, cut on the outside of the line, how deep to go, how many steps you want to take to go how deep, etc., etc. We can tell it, hey, this is a circle, and I want you, don't recognize it as a circle, I want you to recognize it as a circle around a place you're going to drill, and you're going to drill a hole in the center of that circle. So you can say, hey, drill this thing. Okay. Drill it as a spiral mill with an end cutter, or I'm going to put a specific bit in you, and this is the size of the bit, and I want you to go a little down and then out to clear the shaving. It's called peck drilling. You can do that, you know, etc., etc. Click the outside of something. I want you to profile it. I want you to cut on the outside of the line. It's 3/4 of an inch thick, you know, 0.75 inches thick. I want you to cut 0.752. I want you to cut on the outside of the line. I want you to add tabs, which are little pieces left uncut so it doesn't fall out. All of that is done here. I am incredibly lucky in that I actually, no, I'm not lucky, I am efficient. I am able to grab everything here, or hit select all, which might be easier, hit engrave, and under engrave I have laser cutter, and I've preset all of the numbers for my personal laser cutter and the material that I use. Even if I change material or something, I can just get in here, like just change the feed rate or, you know, whatever, and it's super, super quick. So right now it knows everything I want to know to do with this cut, and I can just set generate tool paths. Here are the cut lines of how it's going to get to where it's going to go and what it's going to cut. If this were a CNC, I could hit Alt and grab the drawing, and I can flip it around, and I can actually see the cut lines going down in succession. I can see everywhere it's going to be, and I can get a really good idea if, like for instance, if there's a cut line 5 inches down, you realize that you typed in 0.5, not 0.5, and your machine is going to cut all the way through its table trying to go 5 inches deep. You can see it all right here and fix it quickly. And that's it. Last but not least, produce G-code. G-code goes to the Google Drive. Save that guy. And done. G-code is now in my Google Drive, which is on every Google Drive on every computer I have here, including both my machines. From there, I literally have to run the laser to the 0, point and hit go, and I have this thing. Done. Whew! Okay. Let's pray to the screen grab gods here for a second and pray that I got the click highlight and the line in selected. So I have click and audio. And I just want to thank you all if you made it all the way through. I know this was hardcore. I was speaking really fast and doing things really fast. But again, my goal was to give you this just a crash course. I tend to like to do a tutorial, skim the tutorial as fast as I can, then go actually do it, screw it up, then come back to the tutorial, because now I've got the solid base, you know, knowing how to, you know, it's far easier to understand what they're explaining because you've actually done it. And that's what I want you to do here. Take these flyby instructions, go do them, screw it up, rewatch the video, try it again, and then start getting into specific Inkscape tutorials based on the specific things you want to learn more about. Also, questions and comments, questions within the comments, please give them my way. I'd be happy to do supplemental videos or redo this video at a slower pace with more specifics or anything you need. So, Chris the Carpenter, RocketBrandStudios.com. Thanks for watching.